باسط يا ودود يا باسط يا ودود يا باسط يا ودود يا باسط يا
أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to our beautiful mothers and our fathers, our grandparents and the ancestors of this land, of our soul tribe, and our immediate and extended families of the soul tribes of the mother city. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. اليوم 6/12/1446 هجري الموافق 3/6/9. طيب ما شاء الله تبارك الله. Allah give you barakat and give you khairat and understand the numerals that Allah has intuited in our being. MashaAllah tabarakallah. The only thing that does not lie is a number. That's why they call it a rakam. A rakam in Arabic means a number. And that's why you have the Ahlul Raqim, the digital age, okay, the digital civilization that your children has been modulated and influenced in their neurological patterns and their neural star links, right? It's a children that was never yours. Okay, your children is not yours because they are only images. The baby that you gave birth to is no more the same dream that you held before they were born. There are images in your psychology, in your neural patterns that makes you understand that it's only a dream. It is nothing but what you had thought it was your property and your ownership. Once you come into that lower end of your psychology and your reality, then you believe in stone worshipping. You believe in gods that send children, sons, physical prophets into that dimension. Nevertheless, after 1,000 years of having ridiculed your psychology and your fitra, your authority of knowing who you are, and having scrambled your identity, You're finally coming into the age of Arafat. Okay? The age of Arafat starts on this timeline for those who has been discharged, for those who has been given the upgrade in their psychology as per the Quran's injunction. Whatever we are talking about, it is just from the Quran. It is just not meant for those who has still been trialed in the lower end of the psychology and they still await the sentence. Okay, um, not many people, not many cross the bridge people understand what I'm telling you. People, most of you that are understanding this level of psychology. Psychology is spirituality. Okay, that is psychology, that is philosophy, it is spirituality, it is the way your mind is functioning. Okay, it is what controls it, what is the yani the wind, what is the motion, what is the oil, what is the energy that gives you that ascension, right? Okay, um, all of you are currently stuck in the Moses paradigm. Okay, running up and down, going through that perpetual cycle where you do everything every year for all your life and you have no idea unless you die. That is a fallacy that you by yourself have to uncover so that you can understand what is the path to the next stage of your evolution. Death for you mostly are darkness. Okay, because your ancestors does not will to put the light on because you denied your true roots. Okay, you made them kuffar and you made yourself a proud Muslim and you made another nationality the highest elite believers on your dimension, whilst everything was orchestrated and regulated through your ancestors. Okay, so the amount of denialism that lives in your genetics, the amount of dogma that has been infiltrated into your religious beliefs, it's declared you a imbecile. Okay, you cannot understand what is spirit. You don't know what it is to be having a Allah. Your Allah is a demon because he doesn't allow you to talk to him directly and he talk to you directly. So these were the apartheid states that you had gone through in your format of wanting to find the truth. Yet you took the credit and opened up a current account. Okay, so that is where, when you were weighed on your first entrance into this dimension, they gave you a mate, a metric, okay, a measurement. When they put you on the scale, okay, there is a number that comes out, which is a pound. Sê hy kan weeg gaan baie, né? Nou daai wat hulle vir jou weeg nie, daai is die nommer wat hulle vir jou trade op. Okay, that is how you will now be given a certain pound, and that is how it became the most stable pound of the age, and that was the British pound. Okay, that is what terrorized most of you all your life, because that is why you're sitting with no territory at the moment. Once you are uprooted from your real land, and once you are unaware and ignorant and given the right of lost, you considered as lost baggage. You've been traded to another stage of your ascension, of your growth. Then you have to get yourself out of that mess. Now, most of you are living in that mess. Okay, most of you fear death. Most of you have guilt. Most of you, regardless of how many salahs you make, regardless of how many times you go to church, how many times you go to the synagogues, you are swimming in that dark black sea. Okay, because the Allah doesn't want to put on your headlights. Okay, now you ask yourself, which God is so incompassionate? Ask yourself that. Is that the God that you've been worshipping for 100 years and still he doesn't want to show you the way? Or is there something wrong with me maybe? Am I the one that is so stubborn to be living in a past that considers me as a dead stock, okay? That makes me believe in a God that doesn't exist, but a prophet that is dead and buried, yani in Jerusalem or buried wherever you want him to be. These are all the invasions that has taken place in your lives, and that has occupied your genetics, your minds, your brains, your ideas. It has it has made wudu on your brain, okay, on your mind. It has cleansed you of your true essence, of your true spiritual salah. Salah is when Allah speaks to you, not when you speak to Allah. Okay? When you speak to Allah, that is the time that you think that you can call Allah into your custody. People, you have no idea who you are. You have been badly mesmerized in your psychology. Okay? What you are currently practicing as a human species is you're practicing how to mourn. Okay, most of us are dead in unconscious. Okay, you have no link, you have no way where you can just give Allah a call and say, Salaam alaikum Allah. Shukran for this, man. You made me laugh. I picked up that sign that you sent me. You can't do that to your God, but you can do that to your girlfriend. You can do that to your dog. You can do that to your cat. But the only thing you cannot do is for God. Which God are you busy with? Is that God really a real God? Okay? When Ibrahim destroys, the immigration of Ibrahim is what we call the Hajj in a civilization. It is when he destroys all the mythologies that you have ever believed in for 100 or 500 years of who you think is a God and who can govern your jurisdictions and give you jurisprudence, okay? Nothing of that brought you closer to God for the last 100 years, okay? Your ancestors has the keys to your God, which they themselves can only tell you. Nobody can tell you that. Not Imam Shafi, not Abu Hanifa, not Imam Ahmad. None of them can tell you your God. Your great ancestors are the only custodians that Allah gave. Sitti Maryam and Sitti Khadija and Sitti Amina. They gave them the keys to that. So those of us who were the heirs of the treasure of the Kanz, they have it. They have it. They know who they are. They're not being fooled. They're not committing shirk. They are on the real path that takes them into the akhirah, where they are currently residing. Because nobody dies. It's just your energies that gets mutated. It gets upgraded, or it gets decomposed. Okay, but it doesn't die. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, this is the age of Arafat, the highest form of the golden age of understanding life, people. The highest form of life. What your parents didn't tell you, what the next generations didn't tell you, this is the age of knowledge, the age of true knowledge, the ilm. Not what you learned all your life. A lot of it is got to do with the wisdom that was in your cultural sovereign wealth fund. Okay, you had to decode those 3 nights and the 7 nights and the 40 days. These were numerological spells that your forefathers held in your spiritual realm. Okay, look clearly. If you do not get into the spiritual realm, then you remain in the dead world. Okay, in the illusional conditions. Allah is most kind. He gave us enough rope. He gave us enough scope. He gave us enough time to clean the house, people. Some of us went onto a respiratory machine in order to let us come back again and re-acknowledge what is the actualities of what reality is. Some of us lost lots of people in order to wake up inside of us, man, guys. That was the idea. Upgrade your genetics, upgrade your vision, get out, unplug yourself of the chemical invasion. Let to come to realize what is psychology, what is genetics, what is the mind. The Quran patterns the mind. What you have made the Quran into was like what the British had used it for. Okay, they used it as the Jacobites, as the Yaqubs, to actually concretize and materialize a reality. Okay, it's their right. Okay, but everybody is not cut from the same cloth. Okay, your tribe in the south, they were the most sophisticated spiritual dwellers. They understood life from the highest order. Okay, you are the last of your ancestors in this dimension on earth now. You have to now evaluate how many of you had made it to alive at the end of the age. Okay, now that Arafah is starting, we are seeing the lights go on. The tribe, the children of the tribe sees it go on, because nothing is alive in the hell. Daar's niks liggies in die hel, jy moet betaal vir die liggies in die hel. But as in die Jannah is alles free, because that is the enlightenment that you had to find. You can't die and expect yourself just to fall into that. No, people, you had to move to the next stage of your evolution and expansion. The Quran guides you, but human beings cannot guide you here. Allah must guide you. That is wattaqullaha wa yu'allimukum Allah. This is now on the master's level. After you finish your PhD, this is now the level that civilization is going into, what they call the golden age. Some of us in the tribe, on the global level, we administer many of the fears of this age, okay, through the ancestors, through the atoms of the ancestors that we originate from. And they are the people that would now ensure that the next offspring are not going to be left alleged like what most of us did to our children. Okay? How we send them into the wrong holes, into the wrong systems that entrap them, and now they are the fuel of those hell pits. Okay? That's most of what the reports are showing on the other side. Okay? People, it's a spot exams. You're not ready, malish, but nobody told you that you could give it a time, because did you sign a contract with God in earth, or did you do it before you came here? Okay? You have to reconcile yourself, because when you are asleep, with who are you? Where are you? You're not in your body, so you're not your body. So who are you? Are you your thoughts, or are you behind your thoughts, or are you the one that is aware of your thoughts? Okay? So all these things now, your children have this answers, but you don't have it. Now you're sitting with a problem, because he is now analyzing your actual true position as being his parent, but also as his oppressor, because you are the cause that he has been punished by your sins. Okay? So now God reveals that to him and forgives him for having been placed in a position which he was innocent of. That is how civilizations plays out, people. That is how you see a civilization going down. Gods, prophets, mythologies, all of these things, in the real essence of the truth of where we are at the moment, 99% of things that you ever believed in don't exist. It's all just in an illusional paradigm. Okay? For you to get to terms with that is, you're going to first have to hate yourself. That is why you have apartheid. Then you have to have a two-state solution, and that is where you separate, where you become either jinn or ins, and then you are now going on that, you're going to go on the rapture. You're going to go with why me? Why am I being people? You voluntarily put yourself into this. Nobody forced you into it. Getting out of prison, alive, you need to endure it. You need to endure it. And you had, as a civilization, you had an opportunity to exit the Alcatraz. You had an opportunity to put light for the next generations that comes through your lineage, through your ancestors. You were given that opportunity. All of us was given that opportunity. But most of us believe in the science, and that is the God that has now ruled your life. And وَكَانَ وَرَاءَهُ مَلِكًا يَأْخُذُ كُلُّ سَفِينَةٍ غَصْبًا. and He is going to take you for the ride of your life for the next 7 generations that is coming. This is the haqq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yani, I don't use any other means of inspiration other than the Quran. And it is, we ask for Allah for pardon, people. Ask Allah for pardon. You must ask Allah for pardon in these days. It's not easy what is coming. Wallahi, it's not easy what is coming. Those who know knows, people. And those who knows are keeping themselves very low. Yani, the less the more now. Yani, the more you hide, the better you are in your own space now. Because you are not just thinking of yourself. You are thinking of the next generations. That's important. Because imagine what script, what report is going to be written up on you in history. Which side of history are you going to sit? Okay? So we come from great ancestors because we know them. We know our ancestors. We are our ancestors because we have the contact genetically with the spiritual teams, okay, guides. So, mashallah, tabarakallah, julle almal moet nog doodgaan. But weet julle nie whether julle is lewendig of dood nie. Okay? Dood is lewe. Alladhi khalaqal mauta wal hayat. Only when you understand that death is actually life will you understand who is dead and who is alive. May Allah give you barakat. Enjoy the iftar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا مصطفى كل شيء